What's up, scrubs? It's been 11 months. We're so back. The Fire Emblem is Gaidening, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Professor Irony. The Fire Emblem is Gaidening! Once again. It's been ages.
Alright, this starts off kind of in the middle of the turn, because immediately before this, I started the chapter and immediately game overed and reset a save, and I just didn't bother showing that. So anyway, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Last time we left off on this wonderful playthrough of Fire Emblem Gaiden, Alm and Celica were in the middle of a heated argument. They were debating what was a better movie, Barbie or Oppenheimer. It's been a long time since then. They've gone over their differences. They've accepted that both are pretty good movies. They're back in more arguments, I'm sure, but we'll just have to listen in and see what they're arguing about now. We haven't been paying that much attention recently.
For now, they're just taking some time off, going their separate ways with their separate armies, and we're watching Alm right now take out a horde of honestly kind of difficult enemies.
Yeah, these enemies are kind of bulky as crap. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Berkut chapter. Or actually, does Berkut exist in this game?
That's a good fucking question. I literally... I don't remember.
I forget which characters are original to SOV and what are original to this game.
I know Fernand doesn't.
Yeah, Fernand doesn't exist.
I don't think Berkut exists either. I know Slade does exist.
Yeah.
But he's not in the same capacity. He's just like a random boss.
Yeah. He's just a guy who happens to have beef with a teenager or something. I don't really know how old Alm is in this game.
Yeah. Not sure why
I think we've been... Yeah. Maybe we should have read up on our Gaiden lore before we came into this. Perhaps was important to our very important playthrough.
This is very true. So, in this chapter, it's kind of hard to manage the HP of my units, just because they don't have very many ways to heal. We don't have, a healer. It's mostly just sitting on that one recovery tile, which is sometimes in danger of being hit, and also trading around items that heal you. But we also do have a fair amount of... Well, a lot of our units are pretty bulky. Alm is quite bulky, even though he gets doubled, because for some reason, he is not leveling any sort of speed. Anyway, bye-bye, Ryuto, a.k.a. Luthier.
That skill issued.
That mage, a lot of our people can take quite a bit of hits from these people, but that mage was frequently a thorn in my side, as you can see with Claire there. Just even Alm takes a fuck ton of damage from him. It's quite annoying. I believe I meant to click Excalibur there, but we get a crit, so it doesn't super matter.
Never punished.
This is true. So Celica is doing her best Saber impression, leveling up defense as much as possible, and Alm is doing his part of becoming what's basically an armor knight by not leveling any speed whatsoever, but leveling a lot of strength and defense. Because, I don't know, he just felt like that this playthrough. For some reason...
Yeah.
For some reason in this game, the lords tend to level up in drastically different ways depending on the playthrough.
What are their growths even? I don't even know.
They're not exceptional from what I remember. It's kind of like sometimes Ellie would, since his growths are pretty middling. Claire I think just dodged death, by the way. But that's just all the better for us. Matilda has kind of trouble with this group of enemies here just because she doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And while she doesn't take a whole lot of damage, she can't sit there forever. And that's pretty obvious right now. She is going to have to retreat for a moment. She doesn't have any sort of ability to heal, but we do really want to get rid of this sniper while we're at it, because those guys are quite dangerous. They double a lot of our units and stuff.
Why are those snipers so fast? Aren't they supposed to be very slow in the Valencian games?
I don't know.
Maybe your units are just low.
That's quite possible. I haven't drafted the speediest units, and obviously like Alm is really below par with his speed. And I guess the units you would expect to be fast don't get doubled. I mean, Python gets doubled because he's weighed down by Steel Bow right now. Also, I believe compared to SOV, in this game, weapon weight weighs you down a lot more, just generally.
Right.
So because of that, your speed is a little lower, especially when you're holding like steel weapons and like shields and such. And the shields are what's currently weighing down my mages, but it's worth it because they would die quite quickly without them.
Yeah.
But once we get rid of these snipers, just some smart positioning is able to... Well, some of my units can deal pretty good damage to them. Some of them can just chip them down, but they don't pose a huge amount of threat to us, and we can sit back and heal while we wait to take on that group of cavaliers which so graciously do not follow us over here.
Imagine if, the Cavaliers, who's, a class designed for movement, actually moved.
Yeah. Also kind of funny, class designed for movement, not through forests, which is where they are.
Yeah. This theoretical Berkut is, in fact, a tactical genius in his positioning directly in the middle of a forest. I don't remember how the story works that, I'm forgetting words, that, provides logic for why we are in this position, but, it's still very silly. This chapter is such a pain.
It is quite a silly map. It's... Honestly, I kind of had fun with this map sometimes, just because it feels like a good check, not only for your units, but it's still beatable without it. I accidentally select the wrong attack target, and Ryuto takes a big lance to the face for no good reason, and because of that, he is now quite in danger. But Python is able to hit his shots, thank God, and therefore start to help Ryuto out of this Ryuto out of this situation. While Claire has to unfortunately sit out for now because she is quite low and she doesn't do really any good damage to these armor knights anyway. I also turned off animations because I've lost a unit on a few instances already. So
I don't even know this game had an animation select. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot because you still go into the whole battle window, but
yeah,
I feel like you might as well have it on just because the animations are kind of fun.
Yeah, little goofy, perhaps.
And I turn them back on, and just might as well turn up the emulation speed a little more. Cliff is continuing to level up really nicely. Obviously, per draft rules, I'm only allowed to use him and Gray as Cavaliers, because any undrafted villagers were able to be used as Cavaliers. But Cliff, more so than Gray, has really been blossoming at this point in the game. He's just grown stats better, which is to be expected. He is the quote-unquote growths one, but Gray just... It's less so from a... Gray's just not performing as well as he should, Yeah. Generally, the, promo bonuses for, Cavaliers and stuff are enough to make Gray usually better than, usually overall more useful than Cliff. But Cliff, in this run actually winds up overtaking Gray a lot earlier than expected, which is about right now is when he's started to pretty clearly overpower him.
Yeah. The leads in like speed and defense on a class with like, these kinds of stats as, basically non-existent class stats of the Cavalier class in Valencia. Like, the speed and defense will actually just come in clutch. I actually think you underrate how fast this will be overtaken, or should be overtaken, given, like, what? The attack thing, the attack will just be mended by the class. Really only a consideration of how long it'll take for the speed to go higher, and that's very quick.
Mm-hmm. Also, Cliff has the Night Killer Lance Horsebane thing for exactly this point in the chapter, because he can double and one-round these paladins here. Also, I'm not sure if you caught that, but the boss's name is Sheezus, so whoever the fuck that is.
Recruit, obviously.
Yep. We also have Ryuto, who's on very low HP, but it's okay because they can't attack him, chipping with Big Hurdy Lightning over the wall, which deals a lot of damage. But also, because Cliff took that pretty big enemy phase, took a lot of pretty strong attacks, he's now definitely hurting. So we do take a little bit more of a defensive approach, and then I hit anyway, and he is in danger. Not sure if I don't think I meant to do that, to be perfectly honest, but that's what happens when you play with your emulator at a very high speed.
Real.
Thankfully, we have other units to hopefully draw the attacks. If Alm could double this guy, that would be great, but he can't. In fact, it gets doubled by Sheezus. Look at that glorious portrait.
He's got like the Dean style portrait. I know it doesn't quite look like Dean, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it's very cool. For some reason, I don't know why this is. They just didn't attack. They just fucking ended turn. I genuinely... after I finished recording... Sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say, I want to say there's just like a chance that all enemies in Gaiden just don't attack. I'm not sure what that chance is. I want to say, but like, I think they have like a 50%, or probably less than that, but they just have a chance to not attack. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, and I know there's like, they don't attack if they're put in, because they're all in healing range because of Cliff, but if the healing tile is blocked, which it is, because Ryuto or the healing source is blocked, I believe they should attack, but they didn't. Maybe I'm just wrong about that, but it saved Cliff's life.
Think... I'm not sure. It's like, here they're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Kind of odd. But I did actually trade over the Knight Sword, for one, so that Gray could get a kill against the boss, but two, so that Cliff could heal up with the Holy Lance a bit. Also, Tobin has just reached promotion level for Sage.
Yay.
Which is very nice, because we will finally have a healer on this route.
Perhaps might be a little bit convenient. Maybe I'm wrong about that though.
We're back.
We are indeed back.
And we're going to the Fear Shrine.
How terrifying.
We gotta get that promotion for, I almost said Bowie, Tobin. We'd like to get a bunch more EXP as well for people like Python and, fuck's her name? Oh my god. Claire.
Claire?
Just because they're not promoted yet, and I'd like them to be while we're at this shrine. Same for Ryuto, of course, who I believe only has, only about a level, I think it's level 12 where they're promotable, So he only
I
has
think so.
about 60 experience to go, which we should hopefully get that within that time period.
Yeah. I think Claire's pretty close too. So I want to say the promotion level is either like 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's 14, so it's probably 15, or she's already there.
Yeah, it might have already been there. I forget.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was 11 months ago. I ain't remembering that shit.
Yeah, for real.
Also, Python thankfully doubles these guys with the bow equipped, steel bow. So that's very nice for us.
Python's might be good with the sauce.
Mm-hmm. Python is hopefully going to be someone who can do quite well for us in the long term to deal with Gaiden's cheese factor. Cheese factory, I guess. Haha, cheesecake factory.
Holy shit.
Little hungry now, per chance. Also, just Almi XP is always good because, I mean, we're never going to run out of a reason to give Almi XP, really. But
I mean, unless you're the type to say, like, oh, he promotes on his own, you don't need to give him XP, period. But
yeah,
in this case scenario, that doesn't make too much sense to do.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I commented on it, but I believe this. When we left off, we weren't using the Regal Sword yet. We were still using the Lightning Sword.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Levin Sword, whatever it's called in this game.
I believe it's called Lightning Sword.
Yeah.
It's Lightning Sword and SOV, which leads me to imply that it is specifically lightning in this game.
Yeah. But I've seen a lot of people say, and I see a good reason why, like, Lightning Sword kind of just better than Regal Sword because it's like 1-2 range and stuff. But the thing is, Alm does a lot more damage with the Regal Sword. Just in the specific way he is right now because he has like a very high strength stat line. And because of that, and because of his high defense, we can just plop him in areas with tough enemies like the last chapters, like Armor Knights and Cavs and stuff, and he won't take a lot of damage, and even if they have very high defense, he'll probably do more than even like the Lightning Sword would. So I opted to use that weapon instead.
My take on it is mostly just like, or from what I understand of it, it's mostly just like you use Lightning Sword in the early game where like that fixed damage is higher than anything Alm can do, but once he levels out of that, like you might as well just switch. But like the 1-2 range is still actually incredibly useful for a couple of enemy phases.
Yes. There is
unfortunately, I don't think you can switch on the fly in this game, like you could in SOV. So
no, like convoy or anything. You could, I guess, have it on like another person who's not equipping it, but all of my characters have something equipped, and they kind of want that. Yeah. Beautiful critical. But we have
beautiful critical.
A pretty large pool of gargoyles to take down right now, but that means a lot of experience for Ryuto and Python and etc. Claire
always good
also,
to see.
I was considering, like, I'm not sure if Claire can actually wield the Lightning Sword or not in this game. I'm not sure if she just can, but I was considering doing that, but I opted instead to just keep that leather shield on her because she's fast enough to where she doesn't get doubled with it on. In fact, she mostly doubles people still. Maybe not these gargoyles, but mostly doubles people. And takes a lot less damage, making her more viable as a combat flyer as a result. Even though it does hamper her ability to deal damage against some of the beefier units, but mostly I'd be wanting her to fly around and kill like mages and archers and stuff.
I don't think that, I want to say the only classes in this game that have two weapon types is Alm's promoted class, which is sword bow, and the priest class or priestess class, which is tome and sword. I'm checking right now though because I'm curious.
That makes sense. I mean, obviously there's like sage, which has like stabs too, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not really staves though. It's just another type of magic in this
white
game.
Magic.
Yeah.
Ryuto
Also,
is,
no, Claire cannot use swords.
Okay. Because I know I was considering it, and I don't remember if I actually checked or not, but I came to the conclusion it's probably better to have lightning or leather shield than any sort of sword, even a lightning sword if it were possible, but also just like any lance, I guess, that I had in the convoy, probably because I didn't really have a good lance for her at the moment, but even later on I stuck with that shield for a pretty long time, just because I figured it would wind up being the best usage for her.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what this game gives you, but like I can only assume that giving her any other lance is taking that a lance away from a stronger combat unit. In Gray, Cliff, or Matilda. Well, I'm not entirely sure who does and does not outstat her right now.
Mm-hmm. At this point, I believe she might be getting close to outstatting Gray. She's actually been leveling up quite good. She actually earlier when she got that like level 14, I believe it was, leveled up strength again, which is very good for her. That's the thing that's a pretty shaky growth for her, if I recall correctly. But she's been doing pretty well on leveling it up.
Actually, she has a 30% strength growth. It's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's still definitely like it's not terrible, but it's still very.
It's not any worse than any other Gaiden character. That's on par with Alms.
A lot of just general, because growths are generally low in this game, you can get screwed pretty easily, and she's doing a good job of not getting screwed at the moment.
True.
I use Cliff to attack that guy because I know he won't kill, and that guy won't attack back. And he gives a lot of EXP, and Cliff would like that EXP to get to his next tier class.
Gold Knight, good.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Even though we're starting to promote our people to their second stages class, he'd still like to work towards Gold Knight as soon as possible. That's just, a good thing to do. We also we can't actually end the chapter yet because we still have to get a little bit more EXP on Ryuto.
We love farming XP.
Mm-hmm. So, slightly unoptimal, I suppose, but I mean, this is a casual draft playthrough, so.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's paying enough attention to care.
Python. Oh, I did actually give it to Python because level 10 is promotion level for snipers, and that is quite important. That's a very important benchmark to hit because it gives him a horse, and it gives him a lot.
Yeah, having a horse is it's a lot of movement.
Mm-hmm. He really needs it. And also, we do have more opportunity to get some experience on Ryuto because you see behind that statue, Claire is already leveled up. By the way, 5 defense, 3 power for Claire.
That's kind of nuts.
Behind the statue, there's a little secret area, which we will be doing. These fountains are, of course, speed and luck. I want you to guess.
I wonder which one's better.
So I kind of forget who I give these to be perfectly honest with you. Python would really like them because he, of course, keeps getting weighed down quite a bit. Even though he is now promoted with the steel bow, he only has that 7 speed. Which when we take that off him for like a better bow when we get one, like a holy bow or silver bow or something, that'll be a big boon for him, but he's still going to want some more speed. And also Alm is a little speed, he's struggling a bit in that department. And also Gray, for a Cavalier, he's starting to get doubled. So I do throw him a stat in there, just so because that actually puts him over a benchmark for a lot of common enemies. Don't really remember which ones, but a lot of them, I actually looked that up. It does put him over where he won't get doubled by a lot of people. He was getting doubled with provided he's holding like a holy lance and not like a
jav or anything.
Yeah, like a jav or like a what's it called? The horse slayer equivalent of this game.
I think that's what it's called, or it might be like the Night Killer or something.
I think it's Knight Lance, but like it's just
Yeah.
Knight and like has a lance icon, so it's like Night Killer. Look at that pink Pegasus. How wonderful.
Honestly,
She is slaying. She's kind of serving right now. We also
just a tad.
this room is a little tricky. You know, there's a lot of mages, and they can gang up on people. And those heroes back there, they hurt. They hurt pretty bad. They double a lot of our units, even with. I know they still double Gray, even with that new speed point. They still double Python. They still double, I believe, Tobin at this area. They may even double Ulm right now just because he's a slow dude. And also, the Regal Sword's, I think, kind of heavy, actually.
Yeah, I want to say it is. It wasn't done by like 1 or 2 in the remake. I forget.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is here, though.
As you can see, Ulm gets very low right here. But luckily, that witch teleports away. And Matilda gets crit, which puts her very low. And
I love the seemingly random Gaiden AI. This truly is fascinating.
I would love to be privy to what is going on. That double heal, by the way, is very critical for that because that gives Ulm an extra huge dose of HP. And Ryuto is just off of getting that level up.
I forget that this is a game that has double heals. It's a really... Double healing is such a goofy mechanic. Like, let me just add one more sentence of RNG. Particularly funny in Thracia.
It's also pretty funny because most of the time it's not necessary. So you don't think about it at all. But like in times like that, where it really matters, that's pretty good.
It can come in major clutch. I've had a lot of times in Thracia where you'll miss the first one and then it'll double heal, so you just heal on the second one. So it's you basically like nothing ever happened.
I know there's also stuff where like it's good to miss stab sometimes because it gives you like some free weapon experience. In Thracia, I have no idea how it works in this game, to be honest. I don't know how often it procs or what causes it to proc, or if it even has any tangible benefit other than healing more sometimes.
I assume it's just like a % chance. I want to say in Thracia it's just like a flat 10 to happen, but I'm not really sure. I don't know where I'm pulling that number from.
I don't really know either. As we can see, Ryuto throws one last Excalibur at this guy to get his promotion level. And I decide who else to give the kill to. I believe I decide Gray. He's obviously, because he is dictated by bases in this game, he more so than Cliff would really like to get to that promotion benchmark ASAP because his stats aren't getting better until that happens, pretty much. Unlike Cliff.
Trying to see if I can find anything about FE2 double healing. I saw like one Serenus Forest thread where somebody talked about the Thracia formula, which is it's like speed, magic, luck divided by 2% in Thracia.
That is so weird.
But like nothing on like that is the only thing I saw from a quick Google search that even mentioned FE2 double heals.
That is very strange. I actually wound up giving the kill to Cliff because Gray missed like a fucking dumbass. But we now get to the back of the secret room and we get 2 more shrines. One of which is a revival shrine, which we will not be needing. And the other one is also a revival shrine. Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. That was mostly for EXP anyway, so I'm not too. I literally just didn't even look up what that one was, to be honest with you, when I did it. So I was like, oh man, it's not like stats, but what really matters is we got Ryuto to promote, as well as the rest of my units that hadn't already, giving him that big plus 3 HP, I believe, was like all he got. So he had mostly leveled up to the class bases.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, we do run into a reinforcement does spawn onto Nui Baba's abode, and we really don't want to deal with that at the same time as the chapters, so we wait and do an optional battle instead with just that.
I think we missed the first run of this map. Not sure if that'll be fixed later, but whatever.
I think we did miss that. Oops. I probably just played these recordings out of order, to be perfectly honest with you.
Why in the world did that witch just teleport all the way into the mountains?
She's like gone. Why did she do that?
Does she even know where her enemy is?
She's actually just throwing... they're actually throwing darts at a dartboard now. What was that?
This game is so peak, holy shit.
This is the greatest fucking game of all time.
Oh my god, she was scared of your army, and so she just runs all the way into the mountains.
She's becoming a hermit now. She's joining Atlas.
Becomes a mountain hermit as opposed to, fighting in the war that you are, presumably brainwashed into fighting.
Duma gave her magical power. It did not give her the ability to know where the enemy is, apparently.
No, she has magical power, but it did not grant her courage or something. God.
She may be a slave to Duma's will, but she is also a little bit stupid sometimes.
A little stupid. Okay, she teleports back.
It was an ambush this whole time.
Oh, okay. I see. So she's just a dishonorable fighter.
she's using dirty tactics.
Yeah, for real. Presuming that warping at all is a clean strategy for war on a whole. But whatever. I love Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem Gaiden. This game is perhaps peak. I need to go play a Gaiden playthrough, it seems.
It is quite peak indeed.
God.
It's like Echoes if it was funnier. And also somewhat worse, but somewhat better.
Echoes if it was good? Question mark?
Echoes if it was good. This is very true. This is.
God. I'm such an Echoes hater, but this is peak.
This is so peak, man. This is. Oh my god.
I love random AI. Oh, what a beauty.
Possibly the best AI in the series, up there with Genealogy Smart AI.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Robin. You have not hit a single attack this goddamn map.
He might be good with the sauce. Trust, he locks in.
He's about to lock in.
Yeah, he's about to lock in this time. Trust.
Gray, of course, still getting doubled by that hero mercenary dude because he's a good unit. He genuinely is a pretty good unit. Just, I'm kind of giving him second-hand weapons, of course, because Cliff and Matilda are better at this point. And he still kind of needs a weapon for the damage output, and that weighs him down because I'm giving him the heaviest one. Actually, at this point, I might have the Holy Lance on him, which isn't super heavy, and it also is pretty good for survivability because it heals after every turn. the rings in this game. Another thing about dealing with these mages is, well, they're, by the way, Matilda Gold Knight promotion, but
Oh yeah.
Matilda has very high res in this game right now. Gray and Cliff do not. Alm doesn't particularly have good res. Neither does Tobin. Tobin has actually one of the lowest reses in my army, which makes him kind of dog shit in this map. But it's okay, because he didn't hit an attack anyway. You wouldn't notice. I actually go back through the Fear Shrine to get that Gold Knight promotion, because I want it. It's some extra EXP, a little grindy, perchance bending the rules of the draft a little. I'm going to be honest, don't remember if that was banned or not,
I don't think you guys ever made any rules about grinding. I know you guys got to choose your own difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to assume that extends to grinding.
Yeah. I don't believe there was rules against it, but if there was, oops.
I'm pretty sure everyone else has abandoned this already. I don't think I've seen
Actually,
anybody say anything on it.
I know Lizard is like halfway through them. And I know
really?
Kanuavi, don't know how to pronounce his name, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I have said it.
I think most people refer to him as Naoto.
I know.
People just call him Naoto.
True. I'll just say Naoto. I was figuring maybe that name
I haven't heard any of it.
More recognizable, but...
either Kanabue, I think is how you would pronounce that, or I'm not really sure.
Anyway, he is...
That's how I've always said it in my head, is Kanabue.
Mm-hmm. He has beaten, I think, most of the games, actually. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but he might only
I know he knocked them out incredibly quickly when the thing started. Because I think he like casually speedruns a couple of FE games.
I know he did, like, literally the night we did that draft, he speed ran 3 houses and finished it.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember hearing about that.
And I actually talked to Lizard during that tournament, that Guilty Gear tournament that happened recently at Lagspike's channel, at Lagspike776. Yeah. But he said he's done, like, about half of the series at this point. He said he just finished FE3 Book 1, actually. Peak game as well. But I'm not sure if Danny's still doing it. I don't know any of her progress, but I am by far the laggard in this sense, because I've been filming all of it, just because I want to make it some content, because, well, it's pretty fun. I'm not usually a draft person, but I have become a draft person through this, that's for sure. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Even though it did rage quit Thracia, I will come back to that. Quite honestly,
I eagerly await the day that the Conquest run starts.
Oh, it's. I think that might be. I'm currently doing Sacred Stones. I think Conquest will be the next one I do, if not going back to Thracia. Just because I know it's one that I have multiple people interested in co-commentating. The Fates ones, and especially Conquest, because it's everyone's favorite for the most part.
Yeah, but, it is my favorite game of all time.
Mm-hmm. My Conquest draft also, I don't remember what it was, but I remember I kind of screwed myself on that route specifically, because going into it, I for some reason thought it was just any one Fates game instead of all 3 of them. Which it was made well aware to me that wasn't the case. By the way, now that Claire is promoted, she one-shots gargoyles and all monsters just because. That's what Falco Knights do for some reason.
Claire's just a goat.
She's just crazy like that. She uses her glitter sparkle power, and it literally does like little sparkles when she hits them.
Are you telling me you don't do like a little Sailor Moon dance, hop on top of Pegasus, and just start nuking zombies? That's what I do in my free time. I don't know about you, but that's like my favorite pastime.
You would find a kindred spirit in Claire Fire Emblem, that's for sure.
Yeah, me and her are besties. Trust.
Mm-hmm. With her,
I know her personally.
Coquette fucking Pegasus.
Yep.
Woo! It's beautiful. But generally, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't really like. I'd like to finish them all eventually, but I'm more so just like feeling like, doing them pretty casually. And if it takes me fucking forever, then well, I have draft fuel for life now. So
Well, it was the forever draft, so I feel like it's thematically fitting.
Mm-hmm. And so even though I'm going quite slow, I'm still having a lot of fun with it. And Lizard also said this when I talked to him. He said, like, it's very nice to have, always be able to just, like, do something really casually. And obviously, I believe I'm the only person who's recording, like, everything. I know Lizard, I think, did his 3 Houses draft as, like, a stream series. I think Danny streamed one of her drafts as well. But I think I'm the only one who's been recording, like, everything I've done so far. So it's really nice and casual. And I like this format also of just recording them, in this case, while I was literally at school. And not have to worry about being entertaining in the moment. And just voice over it later and be able to reach out to community members like you. By the way,
whoa!
Subscribe to Irony in the description. Woo! And whatever other links to you I put in there.
Probably just like my Twitter and my YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm putting out a Pokemon Draft League content. So.
Woo!
Yeah.
By the way, Cliff just doubled that gargoyle. That's fucking wild.
Great. He is goated with the sauce.
He is indeed quite goated with the sauce. I'm not sure why I said it like that.
It brings to my head, like, I know there's at least 1 or 2 videos of, like, somebody saying goated with the sauce like that in reference to, like, some cat. I wish I could just, like, display a mental image of what I'm talking about. Which, I mean, technically is possible with post-production, but I think you're too lazy for that. I would be too lazy for that.
I'm not very... Not only am I too lazy for that, I'm too bad at it. I very frequently when I'm editing, just zone out and end up just, like, staring at my video and not intaking any of it for, like, an hour. And then realize I didn't do shit to the video, and then just giving up.
Real.
Which is why I just kind of prefer not editing. Also, I just don't have that much time in general. And I'd much rather spend that time playing Fire Emblem. And that's kind of what I started my channel to do in the beginning, was I don't really care as much, like, about... like, a lot of Fire Emblem creators don't necessarily care about, like, numbers on their videos. It's Fire Emblem. If you wanted numbers, you'd make, like, YouTube shorts or something. But I'm more so... I actually started my YouTube channel to get comfortable with my voice and my entertainment capabilities, because I heard that was a good way of doing it. And it is, honestly. If you're feeling down about yourself, this is a good way to do it, to feel more comfortable with your voice and such. But also because I play these games alone in my room a decent amount, might as well share them, make content off of them.
Yeah.
And if it's... I want to do that in a way that's as least stressful as possible to me. Even if sometimes that makes my content a little long form and a little rambly.
Yeah. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Who cares? I am incredibly lucky to just produce Pokemon content, which is, like, notoriously easy on editing. Pokemon Showdown content, like, seriously, if you just, like, boot up Pokemon Showdown, you play the game for 45 minutes, you record the whole thing, you laugh a little bit, and it's a, like, 10 out of 10 video. you like record, you make a thumbnail, put some background music in it. It's the easiest thing you've ever put out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason like PokeGame puts out like 5 videos a day.
Yeah. Very cool. I've been considering. Not only is he doubling gargoyles, but he's doing it with the Nightlands. By the way, pretty heavy weapon. But
crazy with it.
I've been considering Capped Alm also. I've been considering making some Pokemon Showdown content recently. But I'm not sure what to do with it yet. And I'm really fucking dog shit at competitive Pokemon, to be honest. But I think it's really fun. So I might just boot it up and like play some games and just record that completely unedited, to be honest.
That's seriously what you do. You get especially it's nice to have like a co-commentator. Like you get 2 people, 2 to 3, you get a group of 2 to 3, and you just boot up Pokemon Showdown. You load up a team, normally some gimmick team with like some like niche pick. You bring it to OU, and you're like, yeah, this is gonna be funny.
Okay, I might do that recently. I might do that. I did something similar with Marvel Snap recently, except I forgot to hit record. I had not published that because of that reason.
Yeah, kind of hard to publish a video that doesn't exist.
That was supposed to be my birthday content this year, like earlier in June. Instead, what I did is I, within 45 minutes that I had free, I came up with the idea, set it up on OBS, and recorded, made a thumbnail for. I didn't edit it at all, but I uploaded it to YouTube. The jack-off tier list for Shadow Dragon.
Oh my god.
If you don't know what that is, just look at it's on my channel. You can just watch it. Right? It's my most recent video at time of recording. It's definitely something that should not exist.
That definitely sounds like it shouldn't exist.
But sometimes it's nice to just do shit like that. It was my birthday. Yeah. My plans fell through. I was a little bit not in my right mind, and is in a way of saying, a little bit unsober. But you know.
You know what? Fuck it, we ball. I respect it.
It had to be said. Many people will say it didn't need to be said. It needed to be said. I am also just kind of grinding gargoyles right now. Cheating.
I love mindless grinding. Isn't it so engaging?
It's
Fire Emblem Engage.
Fire Emblem Engage.
God.
Rise from 1,000 years ago. Still have not beat Engage, by the way.
Really?
No. My casual playthrough from when the game launched is still like on my save file. I just haven't yet because I've been doing other runs.
Yeah.
I've also been getting recently into some more non-Fire Emblem stuff. So obviously there's Lost Eidolons, which I started playing on my channel and like recording. I decided not to do that and instead just continued playing it on my own time, just to have something fun that's Fire Emblem adjacent, because it is heavily based off of Three Houses, on my own time. And I've got to admit, really fun game. Check it out. Lost Eidolons on Steam. It's been pretty fun. It's a good time. And I've also been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5. Because it came out somewhat recently, and I've always wanted to beat a Shin Megami Tensei game that is not Persona 4.
Right. Actually, I own the original of SMT5, and I played a little bit of it like a while ago, like a couple years ago. I never finished it.
Same here, actually. I own the original. I played a little bit of it when it like came out, and I just stopped playing it for whatever reason. But
Yeah.
it's very fun.
Are you
but
playing
I
the?
always fall off of playing it. Actually, I've beaten two Shin Megami Tensei games. They are Persona 4 and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. My goat. That game.
I'm
took me,
actually
like,
gonna start.
2 years, by the way.
That's crazy.
I'm
actually probably gonna start.
Sorry, continue.
Right, that's fair. I'm probably gonna start a TMS playthrough pretty soon. Actually, I have an IRL friend that I've been. He's been playing the Xenoblade series on my Switch, which has been incredibly fun. But like, it's sounding like it's just gonna become this chain of us like playing games that we love. And so like, once he's done with Xenoblade, which is he's almost through with, he's like part the way through Xenoblade 3 right now. Have you ever played a Xeno game?
I have played Xenoblade Definitive Edition. Also took me 2 years because I was what I would do is I would kind of alternate between that and TMS actually whenever I would lose interest in the other.
Right.
And I would play them around the same time frame. And I actually finished TMS a decent amount before Xenoblade because there was a time where I lost interest in like both JRPGs for a little while because I just didn't have time to play them and I never got back into them for a bit. And then when I did, I played a whole bunch of TMS and beat the game, and then a whole bunch of Xenoblade and beat the game.
Got you.
This was probably like a year and a half ago when I beat both of them. But Xenoblade was so fun. The problem with those games is I have, ADHD as hell, but just generally a low attention span with games, which is why I struggle to complete so many games.
No, I'm with you on that one. I also struggle so hard with that.
I have so many games that I'm currently through Resident Evil 3 Remake, I'm currently through Earthbound, Mega Man 9, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Sacred Stones, Shadow Dragon Fates Remake. I'm currently going through a ROM hack called Sword of Heaven and Earth, which is really good. Lost Eidolons. I just don't beat games very often, and because Xenoblade is so long, it was so good, but man, it's so hard for me to beat a game that long. It took me 2 years.
Beating a 40 to 50 hour game with an attention span, with a short attention span, is absolutely disastrous.
Yeah. And I'm also like one of those people where it's like, there is actually a secret room in this dungeon, which is what I'm looking for right now. I find it. But oh shit, what was I gonna say before secret room? No, please.
It was attention, something probably about attention spans. Xenoblade.
I'm one of those people who like, I'm like, oh, I only have like an hour to play, I won't make any progress, even though that's like not really true.
No, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I do that so much, and for Xenoblade it was really bad because I'm like, it's gonna take me forever. I'm not gonna make like any progress in the long run. I need to like have like a whole afternoon for myself to like play through a story game because I want to like be fully invested in it, you know.
Yeah.
But because of that, I really dragged my feet with Xenoblade. But then when I did get back into it, after beating TMS, it was so good. But like, because I had so many breaks in between them where I was like skipping it and stuff, I would come back and I would forget mechanics exist or what the fuck I was doing, you know, or what names were. So my sense of the progression of the games gets messed up.
Honestly, that's one of the worst things with Xenoblade 1 in particular. To not go into spoilers for, the viewers at home. The game is very, very heavy on its foreshadowing, and so like to forget all that foreshadowing makes it hit a lot less hard.
Yes, that was like while I was like playing it for a long time, I was getting those foreshadowing and then the payoff for it like in a bout of being like into the game, you know? So it was like paying off for me, and then I realized like this is supposed to be happening the whole game, but because I keep taking breaks with it, because I lose interest, I'm not getting that for like a lot of the story beats.
Yeah.
And that's kinda, that kind of sucks, but really good game.
My favorite one is it's something that happens literally in like it's a one-off comment in like the second cutscene of the game. Like after it cuts to Colony 9. It's just a brief mention, and it's like, oh, this foreshadows just an insane amount of Shulk. And it's such a silly connection. Again, not spoiling it, but it's so funny. But if you just forget that cutscene exists, like that's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. I remember distinctly, actually. I'm gonna wait till this recording stops, because this is just mummies. It's just me feeding a bunch of EXP to my guys, hoping to get them to their next promotion levels. We also have promoted both Cliff and Matilda. Yeah, Matilda.
Yes, I believe Matilda promoted.
Yeah, because Matilda got that level anyway, pretty soon. But I'm gonna in Xenoblade, right? Because I took a big gap between. I distinctly remember when, and I'm gonna mute when I say this name. When he came back into the story, and the story expected me to know who that guy was, because I was supposed to have met him like an hour earlier in playtime, but in reality it had been like a fucking year, and I was like, who the fuck is that?
That is an insane character to forget about, frankly.
Yeah. It was very, very interesting. But that has been this installment of the Forever Draft Gaiden. The Fire Emblem is Gaidening.
Yeah.
It will continue to Gaiden until we can Gaiden no more.
So true!
This game is so goddamn peak.
Greatest game ever made.
They were really cooking with this one. I don't know. I don't know how to properly express it other than just they were on that good stuff. Like it's
for real.
It's unironically, I have a lot of fun playing this game, and I had a lot of fun with this draft run. But man, it is a goofy ass game. All right. Do you have any closing remarks, Irony?
When the Fire Emblem is Gaidening, wait, no. Let me run that back. She Gaiden on my emblem till I fire. End the video.